All right, so UFC 321 is over. Tom Aspinall gets eye poked, and we get a no contest draw at 4 minutes and 35 seconds into round one. So Tom Aspinall continues his record of finishing fights in the first round. Not exactly the way he wanted to, and for any idiot who says that CIRYL GANE did that intentionally, well, morons, you do realize that CIRYL GANE was beating the living shit out of Tom Aspinall, as evidenced by his bloody nose, and CIRYL GANE constantly landing combinations, and Tom Aspinall's inability to take him down. CIRYL GANE stopped the one takedown that he was attempting, and he looked good. So why would he sabotage himself? Especially when, given the fact that when we talk about significant strikes, Tom Aspinall had, I think it was like something in the range of 42% significant versus CIRYL GANE, who was at like 69 or even higher. Significant strikes. He threw more strikes. He landed more strikes, and he was hurting Tom. So why would he sabotage himself, and why would he do something stupid like intentionally eye poke him? And you get all these idiots online saying, CIRYL GANE is known for eye poking. Everyone in the UFC who fights, who is of a very high level, is known for eye poking. You fools. John Jones, the guy who basically eye pokes everyone, he never gets reprimanded for it, right? And by the way, we have some warriors out there, one of them being Daniel Cormier, who got eye poked during the Stipe Miocic fight. I think it was their second fight. Maybe there was a third fight, whatever it was. And he kept fighting, and he had one eye. He had a torn cornea, torn retina, I think. Actually, I think it was his cornea. And what about Michael Bisping, you know, Tom Aspinall's fellow Brit, former UFC champion, who fought basically, 90% of his career with one eye, and no one knew it? And then you watch this footage of Tom Aspinall getting eye poked. Everyone, and I'm talking about people who you should be respecting, like Mighty Mouse, Demetrius Johnson, one of the legends in the UFC, okay, now since retired, and who now does commentary, even said himself when he did the live commentary to this fight, which went out, a few hours ago, he said, it looks like Tom Aspinall's right eye was less penetrated than his left eye. That sounds so sexual, but that is the word that Demetrius Johnson used. Mighty Mouse talking about penetration when it comes to eyes is a little bit homoerotic, but I digress. He did say that the eye that Tom Aspinall was complaining about was not the one that went quote unquote knuckle deep, according to Tom Aspinall, which is a stupid exaggeration, because if you look at the replay, both of Tom Aspinall's eyes were closed, and then you get these idiots online. You never got an eye poke if you say it didn't hurt. Did I say it didn't hurt, you fuckface? What I'm saying is that this guy's an exaggerator. Number one, his eyes were closed, so it can't be an eye poke. Number two, the eye he was complaining about that he said it went knuckle deep, which it didn't, which is a blatant exaggeration, was actually not the eye that affected him. The other one, his left eye, was the one that got deeply penetrated, to use Mighty Mouse's vernacular, and yet he was complaining about his right eye. And I mean, look, listen, there's like two things that really upset me about this fight, okay? Besides the fact that there are so many stupid casual fans online making stupid comments, okay? But number one, Tom Aspinall should have continued even if his eye was compromised, okay? He should have continued. Here's why. He's the champion. He should have tried, because this is what would have happened. He would have tried the fight. The referee would have noticed. The doctors would have noticed. CIRYL GANE would have noticed. The announcers would have noticed. And the fight would have been stopped by either the ref or the doctor, or even CIRYL GANE would have backed off, because CIRYL GANE's a great guy, as so many of Tom Aspinall's fans have now been converted to CIRYL GANE fans, saying that, oh, I didn't know who he was. He was such a nice guy. Well, you didn't know who he was, and he was an asshole because Tom Aspinall told you so, which now we all know that the biggest asshole is, in fact, Tom Aspinall, as I've been telling you, but I digress. But he should have continued. Okay? By the way, it was obvious that he was getting beat up by CIRYL GANE. Okay? And now everyone says, oh, well, it looks like he just wanted a way out from the fight. And that's exactly what it looked like. He took 4 minutes. He was holding his right eye. He was basically crying like a little bitch. Look, I know what pain feels like, but I'm just saying this is what it looked like. And, we'll talk about what happened right after that. But listen. He was seeing fine out of his left eye. And like I said, Bisping, fellow Brit, fighting with one eye in violation of UFC policies had he got caught for years, for I think over a decade. And he still managed to continue to fight, still managed to win, and fought, like I said, 90% of his professional career and probably his amateur career with one eye. All right. By the way, Tom Aspinall turns to the crowd. He turns to the crowd, and this is the second thing that really pissed me off. During the post-fight interview, instead of being the nice guy, no, he's the asshole that I told you he was. Okay. He starts bitching to the crowd when they're booing, and he says, "Why are you booing? I don't understand. It's not my fault. He poked my eyes. I can't see. And then he looks at Cormier, and Cormier's like, yeah, you're right. They shouldn't be booing. And then, like, I guess he took his hand off, but they blocked it out or something. And you know, because I only watched the his Octagon shit afterwards because the damn feed fell out. But, you know, he turns to Cormier and he shows him the eye and he goes, look. And, you know, I didn't see anything. Did you? And yet his left eye was perfect. And this is the one that got deeply penetrated. And then he lies and says knuckle deep. I mean, you could watch the replay 5,000 times. There was no knuckles inside the eyes and both of his eyes were closed. By the way, I'm not the only one saying this. Like I said, Demetrius Johnson, UFC legend, Joe Diesel Riggs, anyone who watched the fight live and didn't think about political shit afterwards all said the same thing. His eyes were closed. So these are UFC fighters, former UFC fighters, commentators, everyone's saying the same thing. His eyes are closed. When you hear Joe Rogan talk about it, whether it's probably going to be on Tuesday because it records everything, you know, like the day before, when he finally talks about it, because of course he's not going to go to Abu Dhabi, he will say the same thing. His eyes were closed. And then he'll say, because he has to be politically correct, but it is true that maybe blah, 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 blah. We're going to find out that he probably has a scratched retina or maybe a scratched eyelid. I hope it's not serious. I hope it's not a torn cornea. I hope it's not a torn retina. I don't think it is, to be honest, because he would have been writhing in pain on the floor and he wouldn't have been able to hold on to his eyes like that. That's just a fact. So he turns to the crowd and starts berating them for booing. Well, you idiot, you know why they're booing, right? Because they're your fans and they waited over a fucking year to watch you fight and they saw you give up, you know. And then I see these idiot comments on YouTube, especially YouTube. My God, man, 99% morons on YouTube, and not just on the UFC MMA stuff, but just everywhere. All these comments are just from stupid people. You know, you get these idiots saying that the Abu Dhabi fans are casuals. Hey, morons, you know, people travel from all over the world, and especially they traveled from England to watch Tom Aspinall fight as evidence during the weigh-ins and during the press conference, and even in the crowd when he came out. Shitloads of fans cheering for him, and booing gone. Okay? So they're disappointed. And these aren't casual fans. These are real fans. I mean, you think all these fans were like local from Abu Dhabi? I'm not even sure how many fucking local fans from Abu Dhabi actually exist in that area or even pay for tickets. Okay? Tom had a huge support constituent and they were the ones booing too. Deal with it, guys. Tom Aspinall should have continued. Everyone would have noticed it. I mean, the fight would have been stopped. Okay? I think, look, I'm not even sure about the details because these idiot commentators were just saying so much shit. By the way, Laura Sanko, she sucks so badly as a commentator. She needs to be replaced by Demetrius Johnson or Michael Bisping. I don't know what happened to Michael Bisping. How come he couldn't be there? I don't know if they asked Chael Sonnen to show up. But this Laura fucking Sanko is like, she's like listening to like a high squealing pitched fucking brake that needs to be fixed on like a car. It's like all I hear. It's disgusting. It's terrible. And then you get Daniel Cormier. I mean, he just, you know, he's like, I don't know why Jonathan lost. He was sitting on top of Volkov and controlled him for 10 minutes. It's not fair. Bro, shut up. But I do like the other guy whose name escapes me now. Great voice, great commentating. He just called it straight. And of course, Joe Rogan doesn't travel international anymore because he's a fucking egomaniac. But I digress. Listen, man, it's like everyone would have saw that at least Tom tried. That would have been hard. Him giving up against CIRYL GANE is not hard. And by the way, we also heard that Dana White wants the rematch to happen soon. Okay, which is amazing, which even Dana White is like, wait a minute, man. Wait. You wanted to fight. You got poked in the eye. If this is not a fucking tear, then your ass is going to be back there in January. If Aspinall refuses to give Gane his rematch in January, then Tom is full of shit in terms of wanting to be a fighter and wanting to be a champion. He needs to defend that belt. And I guarantee you this. If he refuses that fight, there is going to be a battle between Volkov and Gane for the actual title. And this will be Gane's fourth chance to get the title. And you know, like, it's pretty funny. People forget that CIRYL GANE was actually the interim champion. And he was the one that everyone was talking about way before Tom Aspinall came onto the scene. And like Dana White said, he doesn't understand why these idiots were fucking doubting him. Well, because they're casuals, Dana. They don't follow MMA. You know, they like see someone from England. Oh, we have to respect our man from England. He's the greatest. He's the greatest. A Paddy Pimblett from Liverpool. And you don't even care who the fuck they're fighting. I mean, they could fight Mickey fucking Mouse and fucking Pluto. And you'd be like, fuck Mickey Mouse, fuck Pluto. Fucking Tom Aspinall is the greatest. Meanwhile, it's Michael Bisping, who so far was the greatest guy from England. And I think Paddy Pimblett is much more popular and more of a draw, and he is, than Tom Aspinall will ever be. And I think Pimblett has a lot more heart and soul than Tom Aspinall. I think Tom Aspinall was catered to when he was a child. I think he was beat up a bit as a child. I think that his father just, I mean, this is why he's so emotional all the time, right? I think his father coddled him and taught him how to be, a big boy. But, we see a lot of times he's just not that big of a boy. He's a large man indeed. He's a good fighter indeed, but he's a bit of a bitch. And I think we saw that tonight in the post-fight press conference interview. The Octagon interview. And then you get CIRYL GANE, who's the first thing he says is, hey guys, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. This is not the way I wanted to turn out. I hope that we could fight again. And I really apologize to the fans. You don't get fucking GANE saying that. He's like, I don't know why you're booing. I got eye poke. Look at my eyes. Knuckle deep. It's like my ex-boyfriend, knuckle deep in my asshole, but he put it in my eye hole. And it hurts. I can't fight. Right, but you could talk and you could see with the other eye. Go get a fucking eye patch and start fighting again. Anyway, so if he doesn't want to turn around and fight in January, which Demetrius Johnson, former UFC legend, like I said, champion, superstar, he said that he should be the Aspinall versus GANE should take place, the rematch, in December on that December card, and they should push everyone else down for this to be the main event, which I agree with. I think it's a little bit too soon though. But again, when you get a guy like Demetrius Johnson analyzing this shit and saying no, it should take place sooner, then you got to listen, right? Unless you're a dumb casual, which most of my commenters are. So many moron commenters that I've seen in my posts, right? Listen. If you're commenting on my video and you say that videos like this are rage bait, guess who just got rage baited? You did. And I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for like intelligent people. I'm doing it for people who care about MMA and like UFC. I'm not doing it for you. So get off my page. And when you come and you make stupid comments like, oh, this is rage bait. No, what you're basically saying is that your IQ is not high enough to even begin to comprehend what I'm saying on my videos. You're not smart enough to respond with anything meaningful. So what you do is just insult. Well, let me give you some advice before you comment and you start rage baiting yourself or masturbating yourself to my videos, which is what you do. Go watch Mr. Beast. Go watch some random shit on Netflix that you can actually grasp. It's made for your low IQ level. It's made for people like you, and leave the real conversations to the adults like me. And if you don't like that, tough shit. Fuck off. And to the people that say stupid shit like, but why do you want to hear more about Tom Aspinall's wife and kids and his mom in the documentary? I don't understand. And then I respond to you and I said why in the video, and you come back and say, I still don't understand. Well, asshole, it's because it's a documentary about Tom Aspinall. And when you do a documentary about Tom Aspinall, that should include everyone in his family who's been there for him, past and present, and why he fights. And the fact that that was excluded tells me that he's trying to shield his family for some reason. It's almost like he's embarrassed by them, but he has no problem putting his father out there. Why don't we hear about his mom? I want to know about how he grew up. I think he said he had a brother. I find that incredibly interesting. We see a little bit of pictures, with him interacting with his brother when he was a kid, but I don't see anything about his mom or about his wife or about his kids. Why? Because it's a fucking documentary. That's why, you idiot. And if you're going to document his life, then you document his entire life, period. And if you don't get that, you are a moron. That's it. Don't call it a documentary. Call it what it is. It's a fucking profile. Okay? You want to see a real documentary? Watch the first Conor McGregor documentary, where they show how this guy was living with his parents in like their attic or something with his then girlfriend, who is still his girlfriend, but now is a fiance. That's a thorough, in-depth documentary where he lays everything out. That's a great documentary. He talks about everyone. Why? Because that's what a documentary is supposed to do. All right. But again, I went off on this fucking tangent because these comments that you guys are leaving, like, you really are stupid. Like, think about the shit that you're going to say before you say it. And if you're an anonymous account and you have a fake picture and you have no videos and you have no followers and you just write some stupid shit insulting me or calling me a fucking name or saying, rage bait, why do you know why you're saying this to casuals? Like, just get off my page, because you're not going to be able to comment after that. I'm not going to tolerate your stupid shit. Go listen to Ariel Smelwani's bullshit. That's a main casual that you guys are all tricked by. The guy never talks about anything technical. Even with this shit, he had no idea how to speak about the eye poke because he's too stupid, right? But, don't come to my page and start bitching and moaning because you can't understand what I'm saying. Fuck off. I don't care. What I'm saying is the truth. Tom Aspinall acted like a bitch. He gave up against CIRYL GANE. CIRYL GANE obviously did not intentionally eye poke him, because why would he do that when he was winning? More significant strikes. Tom Aspinall couldn't take him down. Tom Aspinall was getting his face bloodied up, something we've never seen in the UFC or I think in MMA. He met his fucking match. You idiots underestimated CIRYL GANE, and Dana White is going to force him to do the rematch. And I guarantee you that if he says no no to that rematch in January, he will be stripped of the title because he bitched and moaned. I wish I was the heavyweight champion. Yeah, well, the heavyweight champion just gave up. And if you're the heavyweight champion, guess what? Fight with one eye. Go out there. Show the fans. Take a fucking chance. Because let's say CIRYL GANE beats you with that one eye. What do you think? I wouldn't turn around and say, well, that really wasn't fair and we obviously have to run it back. And you don't think CIRYL GANE would even say, yeah, that guy got a lot of heart? No, CIRYL GANE said, first he was pissed off that he gave up. Then he felt bad for himself because he fucking trained all that time and wasted all that time. Then he felt bad for Tom Aspinall. He made it very clear in the post-fight press conference. He wasn't fucking sad. He was pissed off. He's like, I can't believe this guy's giving up, man. It's like, come on. Like, CIRYL GANE's been eye poked. CIRYL GANE's been kicked in the nuts. And he's continued. Go look at all the people who've gotten eye poked by John Jones. You see any of them fucking give up? No. All right? I mean, just, and you get these idiots saying, CIRYL GANE is known for eye pokes. No, he's not known for eye pokes, you stupid bastards. He's a Muay Thai fighter. And if you know anything about Muay Thai, you should know about the Muay Thai stance. And if you don't, tough shit. Go look it up on Google or YouTube or something. But you know what? Better yet, get off my page. If you feel like commenting and you're an idiot, trust me, you'll be gone. And I don't mean CIRYL GANE.